Erika Kirk has been trying to become a star for decades.
Really?
Pageant days.
She was on TV.
She tried Summer House, reality TV show, the pageants with Donald Trump, and she won in Arizona for some reason. Back in 2012, 2013, she was involved with Romania. Wait a minute, dude. This rabbit hole goes way deeper than what she has been telling us.
Told us she wasn't dating Charlie's friend.
Cabot Phillips and the other guy that used to play for the Rockies, MLB, I think he played for that team. She has constantly lied and lied and lied. Oh, I didn't drink. Girl, I just saw you drinking and dating on a reality TV show. You've been trying to be famous for decades. Well, you got your shot.
All right, y'all. We're about to talk about Wolves in Finance and Turning Point USA, along with your girl, Erika Kirk. My channel got struck. I got a copyright strike when I was talking about the weather. So remember the weather guy, I forgot his name, that we all were, giving credit to because he was doing a great job in weather forecasting, and I shared his video. Well, he struck my channel, and then I thought when you get a strike, you can't go live. So I'm able to go live for whatever reason. I don't know if he took the strike off or whatever, but I am back. And drop popcorn emojis in the chat because I am back. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. All right, so let's get to it. What's going on? Let's try it again. What is going on? Hold on, y'all. Why is the video not working? Uh-oh. So wait, hold on, let me make sure. Everybody on YouTube, put a 1 in the chat if you can see me, because I want to make sure everything is going good, because something is going wrong. So let me check, and because hopefully everything is going good with YouTube. All right, let's see if this is going to work.
They have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because donors have been the #1 funding mechanism.
Okay. All right. So we're good. We are good. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to make sure something was going strange. Okay.
I'm trying to become a.
All right. So we are good. We are good. All right. So now let's get into it. Something was wrong, but it's okay now. Hit the like button, y'all.
Called Paramount Tactical. And they discussed a letter that was allegedly sent from the IRS to Turning Point.
All right, so that is just kind of the tip of the iceberg as far as the allegation.
Hold on, y'all. Sorry, but something is going crazily wrong. So everybody come on in, hit the like button, and let's see. I'm having
on a podcast called Paramount Tactical. And they discussed a letter that was allegedly sent from the IRS to Turning Point.
Okay. All right. So now we're good. Now we are good. Sorry
Robert
about that.
Barnes went on a podcast called Paramount Tactical. And they discussed a letter that was allegedly sent from the IRS to Turning Point.
All right, so that is just kind of the tip of the iceberg as far as the allegations. I know that Wolves and Finances have kind of brought to the fore against TPUSA.
So now we're talking about Wolves of Finance and how him getting sued is not slowing him down at all, and it's literally lighting fuel up under all of us to let Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA know that we are not stopping and we do not care.
And Robert, I know I actually got some of the documents, the letter from the IRS to Erika Kirk and TPUSA that talks about what their situation is as regards to the IRS.
This letter has been floating around and reported on by mainstream news outlets like CBS. Except the letter itself has never been shown until Paramount Tactical's podcast. In fact, I'm guessing he was not supposed to show this to his audience because it is quite shocking.
Uh-oh. Shout out to Paramount Tactical showing how much of a dummy he is once again, because he made yet another mistake putting something out on the internet that is not supposed to go out on the internet. Paramount Tactical is showing he's an idiot once again.
I'm guessing he was not supposed to show this to his audience because it is quite shocking. It is a 2-page letter on Department of the Treasury letterhead. It says it is responding to a request from Erika Kirk. It says, 1, there is no IRS investigation currently underway on Turning Point. 2, all 4 990 forms were filed by May 15th, 2025. 3, the next year's forms will be filed by May 15th, 2026. The letter is signed by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Paramount Tactical is presenting this letter as some kind of evidence that there is no fraud at Turning Point. That is ridiculous for a number of reasons. We all know this because all of us deal with the IRS. We all know this is not normal behavior. Have any of you ever received a letter from the IRS saying, just letting you know, we're not doing an investigation on you? No, of course you have not, because the IRS does not do this. And it's not coming from the IRS. The letter is signed by the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent. To me, this looks more like a political favor to Donald Trump's personal friends than a legitimate IRS communication. This letter does not look like it came from the IRS. It looks like it came from the President of the United States. Do you understand what this means? This is the...
I want y'all to think about that. The president this woman goes to the president of the United States. Like, the president of the United States is her daddy. Daddy, can you send out a letter to let this guy know that we're not doing anything wrong, even though we most likely are doing a lot of things wrong, and you have a lot to do with the things that we're doing wrong? Because you're in the Epstein files, and my parents possibly are in the Epstein files also. So can you please fix this, daddy? Erika Kirk went to her daddy to try to get Wolves of Finance to back off. That's illegal. And there's a possibility that this man can get more, I would say, there's more, what's the word? There's more proof out there for the Democrats to use to possibly get Donald Trump impeached. I'll just say that.
Of the United States. Do you understand what this means? This is the only document the Democrats need to impeach President Trump. This looks like the president's handwriting on official letterhead of him interfering in an IRS investigation of his personal friends. Let me remind you of Richard Nixon. Nixon faced impeachment charges for interfering with the FBI investigation into the Watergate scandal. The main evidence was secret tape recordings of conversations in the Oval Office. Donald Trump is doing the same thing with the IRS investigation, but this time we have what looks like his handwriting on official letterhead. Let us look again at the 4 nonprofit companies. We have Turning Point.
Okay, so Donald Trump taking up for a citizen while they're just getting investigated by an accountant is absolutely crazy. And this is the reason why Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA are so dangerous and why I'm so against them, because they're misrepresenting themselves and they're misusing their power. They have so much influence because of Charlie Kirk, not because of Erika Kirk, where they can go to the president of the United States to get him to write a letter to this man. Like, that's absolutely crazy.
USA, Turning Point Action, Turning Point Endowment, and America's Turning Point. 3 of these companies are 501c3 organizations. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. The difference is that a 501c3 is not allowed to participate in political activity. A 501c4 can participate in no more than 50% political activity. And then there is also Turning Point PAC, which is 100% political activity. Now, I have seen arguments from people claiming that this is normal. They say it is normal for nonprofits to have multiple different companies. Not like this, it's not. Do not let people gaslight you about what's going on here. Let me explain what is unusual. You would normally create different shell companies for different types of activities. For instance, Turning Point Endowment is for their investments. That's clearly a different type of activity. It gets its own company. That makes sense. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. That's a different type of activity, so it gets its own company. What is this? Why is America's Turning Point separate? The company descriptions on the 990 form are very similar. It's basically education for young people. So why are these 2 different companies? The only major difference that I see is that Charlie Kirk managed Turning Point USA and Tyler Boyer managed America's Turning Point.
Here's the problem.
So in a way, America's Turning Point existed to give Charlie Kirk plausible deniability. It gave Tyler Boyer his own 501c3 where he could do whatever he wanted, and Charlie Kirk would not necessarily know about it.
So let's stop right there. What do y'all think about the thought process of Charlie Kirk doing this? Because this was done, the Doge went in effect right before Charlie Kirk died. But before that, Charlie Kirk, we thought it was a demotion. Charlie Kirk demoted, which we thought, Tyler Boyer to Turning Point Action. And then the Doge happened. So in our minds, just as onlookers, we thought this was like a demotion, because that's what I just called it. But what if it wasn't a demotion? What if it was an opportunity for Charlie Kirk to just not be accountable for what Tyler Boyer was doing? Because I said it over and over again. I cannot imagine Charlie Kirk not knowing what Tyler Boyer was doing when he's been with what? He's been with Turning Point USA for at least 12 to 15 years. So how in the world can we just expect Tyler Boyer to be doing all these things and Charlie Kirk doesn't know? And this right here is proving that Charlie Kirk did know. He just needed to separate himself from Tyler Boyer so Tyler Boyer can do whatever he wants to do. Why? So when the lawsuits come, when anything else comes, convictions or, anything, if anything comes, he will be able to separate himself from Tyler Boyer. But if Tyler Boyer was so bad, and here's my point, if Tyler Boyer was so bad, why wouldn't you just fire him? So my question is, why did Charlie Kirk not fire Tyler Boyer if he was so problematic? Because we all know Tyler Boyer is literally the beginning of all of this debauchery. Before all the cricket pastors, before all these disgusting churches, before all these Calvary Chapel sexual misconduct allegations, it all started in the beginning with Tyler Boyer. So, like I said, I think Charlie Kirk had something to do with all of this. But I think he just woke up one day and just said, all right, I'm not going to take it anymore. Because then he came out with this.
They have a lot of...
Because he just came out of here, because he came out of it, he just started saying this out of nowhere at one point.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular, and it's not just the colleges, it's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more, draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Charlie always would say very clearly.
So this came out really late. But y'all got to understand, Charlie Kirk has been running Turning Point USA. Let me find out exactly. How long was Charlie Kirk running Turning Point USA? How many years? 1993. Charlie Kirk, October 1993 to September 10th. No, damn it. Not no damn 1993. Hold on. When was Turning Point USA first started, that was his life. 2012, not no damn 1993, 2012. So as you can see, Turning Point USA has been around for a long time. And Tyler Boyer has been a part of Turning Point USA, to my knowledge, from the beginning. So at the end, he started speaking against all these different things. But my question is, what was he doing and what was he affiliated with 2012? Because there were sexual allegations with Turning Point USA in 2012, in 2013, in 2014. So we could sit back and just say, hey, it's just Tyler Boyer. Hey, Erika Kirk. Hey, all these different people. But do y'all remember this? I'm gonna go back.
I think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down.
So I'm gonna go back to the other video in a second, but I want y'all to think about this. Let's go back to 2012, because yeah, we can look at Erika Kirk as this dumb, incompetent, terrible person, but I think Charlie had something to do with this way before Erika Kirk even thought about taking over. So let's look at this.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
So the reason why Diddy is talked about right here is because it's something that I've said multiple times. I think Charlie Kirk may, well, okay, I have to say a different name because of YouTube, okay? So I don't want to throw anybody off. So I'm going to change Charlie Kirk's name right now, okay? I think Gregory faked his death in order to circumvent a potential Diddy-sized lawsuit that would have taken Turning Point down and put Charlie Kirk in prison, because for those who don't know, Diddy is presently in prison. All right. So I'm looking at this situation and not just blaming Tyler Boyer, not just blaming Andrew Covid, not just blaming Erika Kirk. I'm blaming Charlie Kirk also. So I want y'all to listen to this, but I want y'all to have the mindset of Diddy had 2 lawsuits that came down, and it had a lot to do with trafficking. Keep that in mind. The same things that are going on with Turning Point USA was going on with Bad Boy and Diddy. So put a 1 in the chat if you're aware that Diddy and Bad Boy had the same allegations as Turning Point USA did. The same exact type of allegations. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are aware of that, because I want y'all to understand the similarity between Bad Boy and Turning Point USA. It's somewhat the same thing, allegedly. Okay? It's all about tadpole traffic lights. All right? So listen to this with the ears of Diddy lawsuit. It's the same as Turning Point USA potential lawsuit, but the only reason why the lawsuit didn't come down for Charlie Kirk is because he mysteriously died. So listen to that with those type of ears.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Weiner's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watch the videos on Weiner's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops.
See, when I was talking about Diddy, one, it was all about tadpole traffic lights, but two, it was about Epstein files also. Back then, it wasn't about Epstein files this, Epstein files that, but it just seems like Diddy was this Epstein type of character, and he had a right-hand girl named Christina Coram that was doing the same things that, well, allegedly doing the same things that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell was doing. So I was just all into that conversation, right? But then when you start looking at the Charlie Kirk situation, who was the Ghislaine Maxwell with Charlie Kirk? In my opinion, Turning Point USA was the Ghislaine Maxwell. And I want y'all to think about that for a second. I just want to say that again. So I wanted to sink in. Diddy had Christina Coram as his Ghislaine Maxwell. And of course, because I want to make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. So Ghislaine Maxwell was the trustable figure, the pretty woman that allegedly used to lure in girls of different ages to gain trust, because some old white man is like, hey, you want to be with me? Hey, you, and little young girls be like, no, right? So they would send a pretty female that would lure women in and give them opportunities to, be models, be actresses, because Epstein was into movies and TV shows and stuff, right? But here's the thing that I want y'all to think about. Who was Charlie Kirk's Ghislaine Maxwell? Turning Point USA itself was his Ghislaine Maxwell. Turning Point USA itself was Ghislaine Maxwell to Charlie Kirk. See, Charlie Kirk didn't need a pretty woman by his side to lure in women to do things that they may not want to do. Charlie Kirk wasn't old like, hold on, somebody just sent me something. Oh shit. Thank you so much for the $60 super chat. Cash app. Hold on a second. I just got a cash app. Got to stop for a second. Thank you, John, for the super. For the super chat. Thank you for the cash app. Cash app. Thank you for the cash app. Cash app is scrolling across the bottom. Cash app is $AARON 1000 if you would like to support the channel. And thank you, John, for the $60 cash app. But like I was saying, usually you have this female because you're older and women aren't going to want to do things with you or do things for you because you're old, right? Like, Epstein. But one, Charlie Kirk wasn't old. And then two, most importantly, Turning Point USA somewhat had the ability to bring thousands of girls to one place, right? He'll go to different colleges and then thousands of girls will be all in one place. So then you don't need a female person to do anything, because the company itself is then the Ghislaine Maxwell or the Christina Coram. And I said this before, and I want to see if I can verify this, but when it came to the foreign planes, the military planes, and I said this before, but I just want to reiterate. When it came to the foreign planes, what if they were not spying on Charlie Kirk? What if they were not spying on Erika Kirk? Because I don't think Erika Kirk was at every one of those shows or events. So why would they be spying on Erika Kirk when Erika Kirk wasn't there? In my opinion, the military planes were there to possibly pick up girls that were promised to spend time with Charlie Kirk or Charlie Kirk's people or whoever, or Tyler Boyer or whoever. They went to schools. See, the Ghislaine Maxwells of the world, they have to lure in girls, but Turning Point USA doesn't lure in girls. The girls just come in flocks, and it's thousands of girls. And then they have this super feed technology that geo-fenced all of the women and boys that came to these events. So now once you walk into this geo-fence, they now have all of your, well, not all of your information, but they have enough information to find out who you are, your gender, who you're voting for, what you like, what you don't like, right? And it put them in a position where they now can follow you, possibly send things to your phone. And for the women that were like, hey, let's go, they just went and got on a plane. So in my opinion, Charlie Kirk went to these events, and somebody, and I'm just making an assumption, this is my opinion, I don't know. There was a plane 20 minutes away from every event, according to Candace. I think just like in the movie Blink Twice, whoever, I'm not even going to say Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk was married, but whoever would just, or could just go to the girls that he wanted to bring to the island and say, hey, would you like to go on a plane with me or go with us? We're about to go to an island. We're about to go to my island. And the girls are going to be like, okay, let's go. So the thousands of women were being geo-fenced, but there's probably 6 or 7 women that they pulled to the side and said, hey, you want to go back to my island with me and my friends? No coercion, no drugging, no nothing. And next thing you know, they probably like, yes, let's go. Let me get my friend. Get your friends. Next thing you know, it's a group of them. You put them on the military plane. Put them on a military plane. And because it's a military plane, that military plane has a certain type of clearance where they can turn their transponder off. See, if it's just a private plane, I don't think you could turn your transponder off. But if it's a military plane, you have the ability to do that because there's certain markers on the side of the plane. So next thing you know, Charlie and them, maybe not, drive to a plane. They fly to an island and things happen or don't happen because I don't want to get sued. So This is the reason why all of this, to me, has a lot to do with Charlie Kirk and not just Erika Kirk. So Charlie Kirk, even though he's no longer here, or he may still be here, I don't know, he got to get some of this smoke too. Because my thing is, if he's watching right now, I'll say it again. If you're watching right now, Gregory, or I'll just say Charlie Kirk, if you're watching from the heavens, if you're watching from, up there, I just want to let you know that you haven't fooled everybody. I just wanted to put that out there. Charlie Kirk, you haven't fooled everybody, or Gregory, whatever you want to say. Let me get to the super chat real quick. I4 or 141821. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You are right. Bad Boy and Turning Point USA have similar stories of good stars versus evil stars. Yes, Gregory was probably blackmailed by his entourage, Diddy, Erika Kirk, Turning Point USA, Kim Porter, Charlie Kirk. See, you bring up another point. I'm glad you said that. Candace Owens, Albie Shore. Ooh, Candace Owens is Albie Shore. Oh. I like that. So I want y'all to think about something, because they just brought this up. I didn't bring this up. They just brought this up. So I just want to add to what they just said. With Diddy, remember, Kim Porter mysteriously died. Kim Porter mysteriously died. But with Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk mysteriously died. And then after Kim Porter died, not right after Kim Porter died, but after Kim Porter died, that is kind of like where Diddy started working with Diageo and the liquor brands. It's kind of like he got the ability to like ascend past rap and music and screwing over his artists. Now he started getting into liquor brands and he's dancing around with liquor and everything, right? Ciroc, remember? Ciroc. So with Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk is somewhat the same as Diddy and Kim Porter. The spouse had to die in order for the other person to continue to ascend, because there's a possibility that Diddy was having problems with the liquor companies working with him, maybe because of what Kim Porter was saying in the background, or what she was doing in the background, or what she was threatening to do in the background. Because there's always a new point, a new what they say, new levels, new devils. So I don't know, but let's keep watching this. And let me know what y'all think about that. Am I crazy for saying Diddy and Kim Porter is literally the same thing as Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk? One spouse had to die.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey.
I promise you, there was a lawsuit coming down for Charlie Kirk, but he mysteriously died. So that lawsuit just disappeared. The same thing that happened with Diddy was about to happen with Charlie Kirk.
Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watched the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness.
9 cops were dead. And the 9 cops died. And nobody said anything about anything.
They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide.
The famous really have a big problem. I'm one of the only people who managed to get globally famous and renowned without having a gatekeeper. If you're on a basketball team, if you say anything you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're an actress and you say something you're not supposed to say, the producers won't hire you anymore. Record labels, YouTube, there's always someone who will shut you down if you start speaking.
Isn't a theory. It's a first.
So remember the guy just said something about January 6th, right? He said 8 cops died on January 6th. I just want y'all to hear this real quick, and I'm going to go back to the 2 videos. But he just reminded me about January 6th. Watch this.
What you're about to hear isn't a theory. It's a first-hand, under oath testimony that pulls back the curtain on the single most corrupt political machine we've ever seen in our lifetimes. And it explains a lot of what's happening right now. Part 1, the January 6th blueprint. It was always turning point. Manhattan Madam is a political publicist with.
You heard that right? You heard that right? January 6th has something to do with Turning Point, according to her.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button.
It explains a lot of what's happening right now. Part 1, the January 6th blueprint. It was always turning point. Manhattan Madam is a political publicist with 16 years experience inside the conservative movement. She sat before the January 6th committee and told a story that should have been front page news for weeks. She didn't plead the fifth, she laid it all out. And here's the core of her testimony, and man, is it explosive. First, the lie. We were told January 6th was a grassroots, organic movement of patriots. That was a lie. It was a professionally planned and lavishly funded operation. The orchestrator, the main funder and organizer, according to her sworn testimony, was Turning Point USA. This is the group that masquerades as campus activism for freedom and limited government. They are, in fact, the architects of an attempted coup, which brings me to the price tag. She was directly told that January 6th cost $650,000. Of that, $450,000 came directly from Turning Point, which was used.
Y'all hear that right? And the Manhattan Madam, and she's on Instagram as a Manhattan Madam, and she's called the Manhattan Madam because she was a madam in Manhattan, and she actually went to prison for being a madam in Manhattan. And she's an actual person. She actually went to prison, and part of her testimony, which may have gotten her less time or whatever when she was in court, because she did go to prison, was that Turning Point USA had a lot to do with January 6th.
Cost $650,000. Of that, $450,000 came directly from Turning Point, which was used for the leverage. That money wasn't for setting stages and sound systems. It was a political weapon. Turning Point used that financial muscle as leverage to get a yes from the president to step on stage. They didn't just support the president. They procured him for the event that would ignite the insurrection. Let that sink in. The dopey, smiling, clean-cut Charlie Kirk, the one who debated.
Katie said her ex-boyfriend got hired at Turning Point USA after Charlie Kirk. Are you saying, I'm assuming you're talking about Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend, or are you talking about the Manhattan Madam's ex-boyfriend? Because we all know about Erika Kirk's ex-boyfriend. I just want to make sure to get clarity.
Dated college kids, was a central banker for an attack on our Capitol. This wasn't a protest that got out of hand. It was a calculated investment in chaos. And what was the return on that investment? Manhattan Madam spells it out. This was their political birth. To quote her, this is when they came into their political power. Turning Point Faith was started after this. This is when all the grifters started, unquote. The period from 2021 onward saw an explosion of conferences, revivals, and movements. All of them, in her words, grifts designed to monetize the anger that they helped create.
The strangest part isn't Charlie Kirk. It isn't even TPUSA. The strangest part is the lineage behind it. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Aquino wrote a book called Mind War while
and we talked about this before also, but this is just yet another piece of this that puts you in a position where you're like, there's no way in the world I can trust these people, whether it's Erika or Charlie. Y'all saying the girl is a liar? I don't know. I actually hit up Manhattan Madam to see if she wanted to speak on this. I have not heard back from her, and maybe legally she can't speak on this. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know. But let's get back to this part right here. I just wanted to share that because somebody brought that up in this video right here.
Really have a big problem. I'm one of the only people who managed to get globally famous and renowned without having a gatekeeper. If you're on a basketball team, if you say anything you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're an actress and you say something you're not supposed to say, the producers won't hire you anymore. Record labels, YouTube, there's always someone who will shut you down if you start speaking in a way you're not supposed to speak. And the way they avoid this from happening is the same thing they tried to do to me. I got offered $55 million to sign a contract, and that contract was a sponsorship contract. But to avoid brand damage, I had to shut up about certain issues and change my opinions on certain things. And I declined the money. And soon after that, I was arrested. So what they try and do is give you a gatekeeper if you get famous without one, but primarily people only get famous because of their gatekeeper. All of these famous people aren't even famous. They cannot allow you to be influential if they don't control you. That's what Epstein's Island was about. That's what my criminal cases are about. That's what all of this is about, because the entire world is a battle for influence. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
And real quick, we're about to talk about who Charlie Kirk was under and when Turning Point USA was started. And do you think this man knew? We're going to go back in the day for a second. So before we do that, I just dropped a link to my card game. I sold out of all my card games for Christmas. You know, shout out to y'all. But the new order for my mother-daughter card games will be in around the 5th of February. So I'm dropping a link for my card game again because I stopped using a link because I was sold out of card games. All right. So if you want the mother-daughter card games, I have a limited supply coming in. So if you want to buy my mother-daughter card games that I was talking about, like, you know, last year, make sure to hit the link before they sell out again. I sold out so fast, of all my card games on Christmas, where it was shocking. I couldn't believe I sold that many cards, you know, within that 2-month period. So make sure to click the link. The link is pinned at the top of the chat and get your mother-daughter card games. It's meant for mothers and daughters to rekindle their friendship. So if you have a daughter, get a card game. You know, she can talk, she can read, play this card game with her. So yeah, so I got the new order in and it'll be here early February, like February 5th. So make sure you get your card game, and you'll get your card game probably like the 10th or something like that.
Charlie is 18 years old. He speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Will Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a nonprofit organization established to promote conservative values, specifically among young Americans through high school and college campuses.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day. I get through to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit.
Listen to this right here. This is very important. Listen to this, what he's about to say.
Recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, recruit, like collect their data. I recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, recruit, like collect their data.
I recruit 4,000 to 5,000 students and collect their data. And this is when he was like a kid. He was collecting thousands of students' data way back in the day. And another thing some people don't know, Will Montgomery gave Charlie Kirk $4.7 million, I believe. I think they said in this video, but it was like $4 million, a little bit over $4 million to start Turning Point USA. So early in his life, he had people that funded him, and we don't exactly know where Will Montgomery came from, but I can only assume he came from IHOP.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, recruit, like collect their data, collect their data, collect their data. It's a high energy conference for us. It's a way to reward our best members that have been.
They organize speeches with ever bigger conservative American thinkers. The young Charlie Kirk quickly becomes a fixture of the American political conservative landscape.
I started an organization, Turning Point USA, 2.5 years ago, around two key values: free markets and limited government.
In 2016, he speaks at the Republican National Convention. When Trump secures the Republican nomination, he and Turning Point embrace the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk gets a direct line to the president. At the same time, he begins using modern media outlets as a way to spread his political message. But they're also a means for generating content that gets attention. He gets millions of
Will and Bill is the same thing. William is another word name for Bill. So it's Bill Montgomery or William Montgomery. So Will and Bill is the same name.
views, in large part fueled by debates on college campuses. In 2018,
tadpole means child or children. Tadpole means child.
Comes Campus Clash, a college tour with Candace Owens. In 2024, the You're Being Brainwashed tour, a college tour with former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. On September 10th, 2025, Kirk.
No, not the 8.4 million that went from Turning Point USA to Turning Point Action. No, that's totally different. This is $4 million from Will Montgomery or Bill Montgomery back in the 2012 to start Turning Point USA. This is the beginning of Turning Point USA. That $8.4 million you're talking about is Turning Point USA now. All right, let me back it up a little bit.
He and Turning Point embraced the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk gets a direct line to the president. At the same time, he begins using modern media outlets.
IHOP is the country that starts with an I that everybody has been talking about. It's the country that starts with an I that none of us are going to say. So I use the word IHOP.
As a way to spread his political message. But they're also a means for generating content that gets attention. He gets millions of views.
So this is a good question. Do you think he was collecting data to traffic tadpoles? The answer is no. Not when he was that young. He had no idea what he was doing. And he was just doing his job and he was just collecting data. Will Montgomery? Maybe, because the data was the data. And I'm sure if Bill Montgomery was, in it with him, and he's the one who gave Charlie Kirk the $4 million, you can't turn around and tell Bill Montgomery, hey, you can't have access to this data or the students' data. He's the person that started this whole company. So maybe Bill may have. So this is the way I think, and this is just my assumption, and I'm glad this is a great question. This is my assumption. Bill Montgomery became Charlie Kirk's handler and gave Charlie Kirk $4 million in order to start Turning Point USA, not because he's seen him as this budding star. No, because just like you asked in your comment, he's seen an opportunity to actually traffic tadpoles. So I think it possibly was Bill or the people behind Bill, because it's always a bigger, like, you know how with the shell game, there's a baby shell, then there's a bigger shell, and then there's a big shell, and then there's a bigger shell. So you got to look at things where Charlie Kirk had a bigger handler, but Bill Montgomery probably had a handler bigger than him, probably IHOP, right? So you got to look at that. So it's not Charlie Kirk in particular. It was probably his handlers using that information in order to do something crazy. And by the way, Bill Montgomery is dead. So who took over as Charlie Kirk's handler after Bill died? IHOP, as far as I know.
But they're also a means for generating content that gets attention. He gets millions of views, in large part fueled by debates on college campuses. In 2018 comes Campus Clash, a college tour with Candace Owens. In 2024, the You're Being Brainwashed tour, a college tour with former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. On September 10th, 2025, Kirk initiates the American Comeback Tour, a series of events for college students across the United States. The format includes his classic Prove Me Wrong table sessions, where he invites attendees to debate his political and cultural viewpoints in a public setting.
Charlie Kirk had no idea about the tadpoles. Okay. I just want to say this. I don't know. And the one thing I don't want to do is disrespect the dead and their family. So I'm just pontificating. So for you, people who love Charlie Kirk, I'm not against Charlie Kirk. I'm just looking at everything. And, for the last 3 months, I've just been wondering, how has all this debauchery, how has all these sexual allegations towards tadpoles been surrounding Turning Point USA for so long, and for Charlie Kirk to not know anything about it? It just sounds crazy to me. It just sounds crazy to me. So I'm not against Charlie Kirk. I'm against his wife. Okay? I just want to say that.
The Democrats know he had almost $500 million war chest, taking over the colleges, getting all the undecided, even some of the leftists, to vote and get engaged and wake up like dominoes. The brainwashing was falling. But more importantly, he was getting young conservatives to get mobilized and start getting others to vote, and they were getting energized. If you were going to piggyback, it would be the Democrats or one of their groups, a Soros group.
So yesterday, as I said, the base looked at Trump and said, "What the hell are you doing?" Okay. And then Pam Bondi gets up there. She tries to tell us that they don't know if Jeffrey Epstein was working for another country. They don't know. They don't know if he was working for another country. And yet we know, all of us know, that he was working for Israel. But Pam Bondi and the state, they don't know that. But all of us know that. And now the question is, why can't Trump admit that? I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein harmed
tadpoles.
Okay? How can you possibly not find the courage to stand up and say the truth about who he was doing that on behalf of? On behalf of. Who
is he doing that on behalf of? See, this is the key issue right here. On behalf of. Why did she say on behalf of? Because you have to do certain things that you may not want to do on behalf of another interest in order for them to see that you are down with them. So you have to do this on behalf of them. You have to do that on behalf of them.
The same country that factually protects American
tadpole catchers.
If they move to Israel after they commit their crimes against children. We're not stupid. Everyone is waking up to what Israel is Everyone's waking up to the stranglehold that they have in our politicians, our foreign policy. And now we're going back and we're realizing that it's maybe always been this way. That our policy is essentially when it gets caught with its pants down, our government will still
play what again? Somebody says play it again, please. Play what again? Play what again? And I'll play it again. Play what again? So he didn't know about Erika's. Hold on. So he didn't know about Erika's time in Romania. Come on now. Exactly, Karma. That's what I'm saying. Like, how are you going to marry a woman and you didn't know she was doing all this weirdo shit in Romania? That's what I'm saying. Like, Charlie Kirk had to know this stuff, y'all. Y'all got to wake up. But I don't know, so I don't want to just say something that I don't know. So I'm just assuming. All right, y'all said start over. So I'll start over.
So yesterday, as I said, the base looked at Trump and said, what the hell are you doing? Okay.
So Donald Trump's base is looking at Donald Trump like, what the hell are you doing?
And then Pam Bondi gets up there. She tries to tell us that they don't know if Jeffrey Epstein was working for another country. They don't know. They don't know if he was working for another country. And yet we know, all of us know, that he was working for Israel. But Pam Bondi and the state, they don't know that. But all of us know that. And now the question is, why can't Trump admit that? I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein harmed
tadpoles.
Okay. How can you possibly not find the courage to stand up and say the truth about who he was doing that on behalf of?
See, this is the key issue right here. On behalf of. Why does she say on behalf of? Because you have to do certain things that you may not want to do on behalf of another interest in order for them to see that you are down with them. So you have to do this on behalf of them. You have to do that on behalf of them.
The same country that factually protects American
Tadpole
pedophiles,
catchers.
if they move to Israel after they commit their crimes against children. We're not stupid. Everyone is waking up to what Israel is. Everyone's waking up to the stranglehold that they have in our politicians, our foreign policy. And now we're going back and we're realizing that it's maybe always been this way. That our policy is essentially when it gets caught with its pants down, our government will still rush to defend them.
Candace Owens was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk, revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a reward to whoever identified the shooter. And now that money,
of course, it's a little old, but is important still,
is going to the alleged shooter's dad. Watch this.
It's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman, probably $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. You really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child who, after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, we then.
What day was that pod with Candace? Hi, Aaron. What's going on, Laura? I'm not exactly sure because this was somewhere in around October, I believe. Around October.
You know, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I said
side of my husband and Erika Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it. 2 people. That's what I just said is meant to be a dig to the donors that are making frantic calls, trying to politic this situation under control because they know I'm telling the truth. Okay. The truth is that Charlie was under immense pressure and he was facing financial threats over his shifting stance on Israel. That is reality, my friends. Again, I want those people to know your money means nothing to me. I already said no to it. That's why I don't care to be in those circles. Make me persona non grata. I know what I did wrong. I looked you in your face and I said no to your money. Okay? Don't push me or I will name more names. I know what you did this summer.
What's up, Allie?
Okay? Gotta add.
And if anybody's watching on the mobile version of this live stream, you can easily go to my channel and watch on the normal live stream also. So I just want y'all to know, some of y'all are watching from the mobile version of the live stream. I'm running 2 different versions of the live stream. So there's a mobile version and then there's a full version. So if you are on the mobile, you click the mobile version and you're like, yo, what is going on? Just go back to my YouTube channel and click the other one, because it's 2 of the same videos going at the same time. So you can just switch to the other one if you want to. Just letting y'all know.
Josh Hammer's face to that poster as well, because suddenly everybody's talking. So let's buckle up for some more indisputable facts.
Charlie Kirk was offered an infusion of $150 million by Turning Point USA has an annual budget of $140 million. Netanyahu offered Turning Point $150 million.
There was an IHOP company that offered, I think, $1 billion to Turning Point USA, and Charlie Kirk said no because it was from IHOP.
For one purpose and one purpose only: to shill for harder. Turning Point USA is already pro. They're not anti. They've never been. Charlie Kirk has in the past criticized Bibi Netanyahu. He has criticized secular left-wing in America. Elon Musk
of ANF got exposed for of ANF.
Turned down the money. Netanyahu asked if he would come visit Jerusalem and give him the re-education tour. The one that Elon Musk took, the one that our Speaker of the House took, anyone that's ever criticized been subjected to. He refused that as well. They offered to bribe him. They tried to re-educate him. He refused both offers.
I tried to tell y'all that Diddy did not groom Cassie. Let's go down a rabbit hole. Cassie started modeling at 14. Modeling is the gateway into. Cassie used to model for a clothing brand called A&F. I gotta keep it cute here on TikTok.
Erika Kirk was trying to model. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I just wanted to put that out there. Erika Kirk was trying to model. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything.
The guy who used to be the CEO of A&F got exposed for quid pro quo, doing the same thing that Diddy be doing. Cassie was dating Ryan Leslie while she was still in high school. I always said between the modeling and her dating a grown-ass man, it's because her parents in exchange for her, which is why her parents don't.
Her parents had a lot to do with what she was doing. Just like Erika Kirk's parents has a lot to do with what she's doing. And the other one is Cassie, of course. Cassie.
I don't believe that her parents had to take out a second mortgage on her house. I don't believe that. Stay woke. I don't believe that. But anywho, Lindsay Lohan, what's her name? Lana Del Rey, Heidi Klum, and Channing Tatum also used to model for that clothing brand. And that's how they, started climbing the Hollywood pyramid.
See, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, Erika Kirk was trying to do what Cassie was doing. See, Cassie would have never known Ryan Leslie or Diddy, we're talking about Cassie now, if she did not become a model. See, a lot of these women want to become a model so they can get around rich men. So if you just look at everything, let me play this. If you just look at everything Erika Kirk was trying to do before she got around Charlie Kirk, it seemed like she was just doing everything she possibly could in order to get famous. Listen to this.
And trying to become Erika Kirk has been trying to become a star for decades.
Really?
Decades.
She was on TV.
She tried Summer House, reality TV show, the pageants with Donald Trump, and she won in Arizona for some reason. Back in 2012, 2013, she was involved with Romania. Wait a minute, dude. This rabbit hole goes way deeper than what she has been telling us.
Told us she wasn't dating Charlie's friend.
Cabot Phillips and the other guy that used to play for the Rockies, MLB, I think he played for that team. She has constantly lied and lied and lied. Oh, I didn't drink. Girl, I just saw you drinking and dating on a reality TV show. You've been trying to be famous for decades. Well, you got your shot.
So just keep that in mind. So it's kind of like tracking. It's kind of like all making sense. So some women get into the modeling agency, into the modeling business in order to attract rich men.
Tell y'all, bro, this shit goes deep. They're only showing you what they want you to know. They're not gonna expose too much because they don't want to, you know what I'm saying, their whole operation to be exposed. But the CEO of that brand used to be cool with, and I tried to tell you earlier about fronts, like Abercrombie and Fitch.
Everybody hit the like button.
Also,
everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
They did. So, you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it cute because TikTok don't really like this topic. But I just say all that to say, by the time Cassie made it to Diddy, she was already involved in that life. Let's talk in the comments.
Has anybody seen Justin Bieber's Instagram? He posted shipping containers with a photo of a baby on a blanket.
So I just don't want y'all to lose context. All of this is the same shit. Diddy, Justin Bieber, what happened to Diddy's wife or Diddy's lady, Kim Porter, what happened to Charlie Kirk, shipping containers, like all of this has everything to do with everything. All of it is all about tadpole traffic lights.
Underneath. Captioned, I got anger issues too, but I want to grow and not react so much. Yo. In the same post, there's a picture of him as a child. And who remembers a few months back when there was demands to open the shipping containers? Look at the location, Diddy's house, and look what's right here. Look. Evergreen. And who remembers this episode of Dexter? Evergreen. Remember Harry found him in the shipping container? Bro.
And Diddy lived close to shipping containers, which was convenient for obvious reasons. Charlie Kirk didn't live close to shipping containers. Charlie Kirk, and I'm just speculating, didn't need shipping containers. Charlie Kirk did his events, and there were military planes close to the events. So, and see, Charlie Kirk did not have parties at his house like Diddy did. So I'm showing y'all the difference. Charlie Kirk had his parties at the colleges. Diddy had his parties at his home. So Charlie Kirk didn't have to have shipping containers near his home because he didn't do any dirt by his house. But military planes were not that far from the events that he would do. Shipping containers, planes. What is a shipping container? What is the purpose of a shipping container? In order to transport freight to another country. What is the purpose of a military plane? To transport freight to another country. Military plane, shipping container. Military plane, shipping container. One by sea, one by air. And I'm just pontificating. I'm just showing you the similarities.
When the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly read, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck.
That's the damn Tyler Robinson stuff. All right, so let's go back to this.
Is that Charlie Kirk managed Turning Point USA?
So I just wanted to give y'all an understanding of why, who, and what.
That's clearly a different type of activity. It gets its own company. That makes sense. Turning Point Action is a 501c4. That's a different type of activity, so it gets its own company. What is this? Why is America's Turning Point separate? The company descriptions on the 990 form are very similar. It's basically education for young people. So why are these two different companies? The only major difference that I see is that Charlie Kirk managed Turning Point USA and Tyler Boyer managed America's Turning Point. So in a way, America's Turning Point existed to give Charlie Kirk plausible deniability.
And speaking of that, it could have been Tyler Boyer doing this whole thing, or all of this, or some of this, and not Charlie Kirk. But I keep saying Charlie Kirk's name specifically because he's the CEO. He was the CEO. So I can't get mad at a non-CEO for doing something when the CEO is allowing him to do it. So I still got to say Charlie Kirk and not Tyler Boyer. Because like he says, plausible deniability is not going to work over here.
It gave Tyler Boyer his own 501c3 where he could do whatever he wanted, and Charlie Kirk would not necessarily know about it.
See? No, that's not the way it works. You're still the CEO of all these damn companies. Okay, let me ask y'all a question. If Tyler Boyer is the CEO of America's Turning Point or Turning Point Action, because I'm hearing two different companies, does Charlie Kirk have plausible deniability if Turning Point or America's Turning Point was doing all of the bad deeds? I don't know. Can anybody explain that? If Turning Point USA has 4 shell companies and one of the shell companies is doing some nasty stuff, but the CEO of that 4th company is Tyler Boyer, it's still a 4th company under Turning Point USA. And the CEO of Turning Point USA is Charlie Kirk. So I don't think you can get away with plausible deniability. But y'all let me know if I'm wrong.
This is explained in the fine print of the 990 form for Turning Point USA, which says, Turning Point USA's other educational programs include campus leadership programs, which are hosted by Turning Point USA's related entity, America's Turning Point, with grants totaling $8.6 million. So what is Tyler Boyer doing with these students? It sounds like this leadership program is a pipeline for these students to go work for Tyler Boyer. For these students to go work for Tyler Boyer.
That's absolutely crazy. That's absolutely crazy. So I just wanted to give y'all something to think about while we run around being mad at Erika Kirk. Who taught Erika Kirk all of this stuff? Is it Erika Kirk, or Erika Kirk, she's just on a moving train and she just has to either ride the train or get off the train, and she's deciding to ride the train? Maybe Erika Kirk is finally getting an opportunity to be famous, and she doesn't mean any harm. She just wants to be famous. Maybe Erika Kirk is being handled or ran by her mother, Lori Kirk. It could be that. I don't know. But make sure to hit the like button. I'm about to end the show. So make sure everybody hit the like button right now. And like I said earlier, my mother-daughter card games are coming in. So they would be here like by February 5th, or February 5th or February 10th. So if you wanted to get a mother-daughter card game, click the link. And here is a commercial for the mother-daughter card game for those who don't know anything about it. And what's the damn commercial? Here we go. We'll just do this one right here.
With one of these decks, and I was asking her the question. Was asking questions. Bless me and my mother with one of these decks, and I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you express this? What word could I use? Or et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too much into it because I really think that you guys should check this out. Even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions. I actually remember there was one question, and it was something along the lines of, did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car, like talking about these different stories, stuff around Christmas time. Oh, do you remember this? And it just allowed us to be very nostalgic and really take that road down memory lane. So that was, this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it. Guys, we're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box. You get to ask all the questions that you may not have even known that you need to ask, or the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. So,
and the coolest part of this particular card game is, in your situation, your mom lives somewhere else. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck. So she was able to bring the mother deck home with her, and you kept the daughter deck. So now y'all can play over the phone or online, right? So you can buy this card game, pull out mom's card game, and ship it to her if she lives in another state.
Is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other. These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband. If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Somebody said, "Oh, that's cool. Did you invent this card game?" Yes, I am the inventor of the Like Mother, Like Daughter card game, and there is no other card game in the world like this. The card game has a deck for the daughter to ask the mother the questions, and then it also has a deck for the mother to ask the daughter questions. And there's no other card game on this planet that is similar to this. So if you are a mother or if you are a daughter, this will put you in a position where you can get closer to either your mother or your daughter, as long as the girl is old enough to read and can talk. So if your daughter is 9 years old, you can buy this card game. If your mother is 85 years old, you can play this card game. So mothers and daughters of any age, as long as they can read. So click the link and get your mother-daughter card game. Cause like I said, I only ordered 1,000 more. And the last time the 1,000 card games went in like a month. So make sure to get your card games. They'll be in around the 5th of February. So make sure to get your card game. And of course, I'll be pushing the card games. I'll be ordering more later on. But overall, get your card game because Mother's Day is not that far. But you sold 1,000. No, I sold more than 1,000. I sold 1,000 in a month and a half. So I sold way more than 1,000. I sold 1,000 in a month and a half. So I only ordered 1,000. You're welcome. Catch up. But I ordered 1,000, but I got to order more. But I could at the time I could only order 1,000 at a time because they were still back ordered from all the Christmas stuff. So yeah, Christmas sold me all the way out. So I don't have any card games. I have my books, but I don't have the card games. So you can buy a book from my website, and you can buy the mother-daughter card game from my website, and you can buy the attachment style course from my website also. So click the link in the chat. Click the link in the chat, and I'll play the like button song, and we will be out of here. And I'm going to start playing a like button song in the beginning. I just keep forgetting.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you wet. Drop your city. Wet. Drop your city in the chat. Wet. Drop your city. Wet. Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat. What? Everybody hit the like button. Yep. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Why did everybody hit the like button? Everybody hit the like button.